What we've seen in the last fortnight is the first 3 of the aircraft come here to Oakey. By the beginning of next year we'll have 5 aircraft, and really this is about establishing a sovereign training system for the Blackhawk aircraft. So pilot training, aircrew operator training, so members that are in the back of the aircraft operating the hoist, the passengers, the door guns, the external load work. Also maintenance training and training of some of our other support trades, mission support personnel that help with the data loading, mission sets, etc. for these aircraft, and refuelling procedures for the aircraft as well. We're very much in a phase of introducing this aircraft, so we've been very deliberate about how we introduce this aircraft, and we will grow it in terms of both its scope and scale in what it conducts. So that's very important to make sure that we maintain a safe operating system, being very deliberate in its introduction. Our initial focus has been introducing this aircraft into the special operations environment. We will now start to expand the roles that this aircraft operates, like getting involved in the maritime environment for amphibious operations. Progressively we will introduce the aircraft into those other roles. Our personnel started training actually a couple of years ago, so at the moment many of our aircrew have gone to the United States and have undertaken training. We have personnel there right now, and that's enabled us to introduce the aircraft into the 6th Aviation Regiment in Sydney first. So we saw our first Blackhawks actually arrive in Australia in August of 2023, so government decision was announced in January of 23. First 3 aircraft arrived in August of 23, and we started flight training for the introduction of this capability the following month in September 23. So we've been training through that time, but what today represents is establishing this second operating location, and where the training will come here in a dedicated sense. Obviously the S70, we saw our first S70 A-9 Blackhawks in 1987. So the UH-60M Blackhawk is the latest variant of this aircraft. Again, all the things that you would expect through evolution of an aircraft system. This aircraft has a full digital cockpit, as opposed to our previous Blackhawks, which were analogue gauges. You see advancements in other aircraft systems, like in blade technology and other parts of the aircraft. First up is you got to go to recruiting and really register that interest, and through the recruitment system they will take people through a range of checks in terms of their suitability, their aptitude to conduct flying training. Once an individual is selected, they'll start their flight training in Victoria at this point, where they go 6 months of fixed wing training. So all of our Army pilots start by flying fixed wing aircraft first to learn the basics of aviation. They will then transition and conduct ab initio rotary wing training, so they will proceed to HMAS Albatross at Nara, where we have a combined rotary wing training school with the Royal Australian Navy. And then once members have completed 6 months of rotary wing training, then they get posted to their operational aircraft type. If it is Blackhawk, then they will come here to Oakey and they'll convert onto a Blackhawk, which is another 6 months worth of training. I still reflect back on when I joined the Army, and I came to Army Aviation almost 35 years ago, and every day I still think, geez, what a great job when you can come to work, operate with great people, great equipment, and like I say, when the time comes, you can go and help fellow Australians in their time of need.